Okay, let's dive in. Today we're looking at something called respiratory alkalosis. Sounds a bit technical, maybe,
It can, yeah.
but it actually connects to some, well, really common experiences. We've gone through the research, the medical info, and our mission here is to help you quickly understand what it is, why it happens, and, what it feels like.
Hmm.
And it's pretty wild how just changing how fast you breathe can, like, flip switches in your body chemistry.
It really is. So respiratory alkalosis, basically, it means your blood pH is higher than normal. It's more alkaline.
Higher pH. Okay.
And specifically, it's because the amount of carbon dioxide, the PaCO2 in your blood is too low.
Right. Less CO2 means higher pH, more alkaline.
Exactly. Think less CO2, higher pH. That's the core idea.
So how does that happen? You don't just lose CO2, right?
Well, you kind of do through breathing. It's mainly caused by hyperventilation, breathing too fast or too deeply.
Hyperventilation. Okay.
Yeah, you end up exhaling more CO2 than your body is actually producing at that moment.
Yeah. Ah, so you're literally blowing it off faster than you make it.
Precisely. And that reduces the carbonic acid in your blood, which, shifts the whole balance towards being more alkaline.
Makes sense. So what makes people hyperventilate like that? Is it just panic?
Panic and extreme anxiety are definitely big triggers. That feeling like you can't get enough air often makes people breathe faster.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the sources show it's broader than just anxiety. Low oxygen levels in your blood, for example, can trigger it.
Like at high altitude or with lung problems.
Could be, yeah. Also, certain medications like salicylate poisoning, that's basically too much aspirin. Or severe infections, even problems with medical ventilators if someone's in the hospital.
Wow, okay, that's quite a range. From a panic attack to, well, aspirin overdose or serious illness, what about like longer term causes? Does it become chronic?
It can, yes. Chronic respiratory alkalosis is when you have persistently low CO2 levels over time. This might happen with, say, long-standing liver disease or certain conditions affecting the brain that just keep stimulating faster breathing.
Got it. So the chemistry is off because of low CO2. What does that actually feel like? What symptoms should you be aware of?
This is where it gets really interesting because that low CO2 does some unexpected things. For one, it actually causes blood vessels in your brain to constrict.
Wait, hold on. Breathing faster makes brain blood vessels tighter. That sounds backwards.
It does seem counterintuitive, doesn't it? But it's true. And that reduced blood flow is a key reason why people feel lightheaded or dizzy, maybe have trouble concentrating.
Okay, that explains the lightheadedness. What about tingling? You hear about that with panic attacks, tingling hands, face.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
numbness and tingling, doctors call it paresthesia, often around the mouth, hands, feet. It happens because the alkaline state affects how your body handles calcium.
Calcium, how does that work?
It gets a bit technical, but basically less calcium is freely available in the blood, and that makes nerves and muscles more excitable.
More excitable, like jumpy.
Sort of.
Yeah.
In more severe cases, it can lead to actual muscle cramps or spasms, painful ones sometimes, especially in the hands and feet. That's called carpopedal spasm or even tetany.
Tetany. Wow.
Yeah. And some people might get ringing in their ears too, tinnitus.
And the heart. Does it affect your heart?
It can. The electrolyte shifts and changes in blood flow can sometimes lead to a faster heart rate, maybe even irregular heartbeats.
Man, so it really is a chain reaction. Low CO2, weird chemistry, brain, blood flow issues, calcium issues, nerve issues.
That's a good way to put it. It's not just about breathing, it's the downstream chemical effects.
So how do doctors actually pin this down? Diagnose it for sure.
The definitive test is an arterial blood gas analysis, an ABG,
Right, the ABG.
that directly measures the blood pH and the CO2 level. In an acute, sudden case, you'll see that high pH and low PaCO2. Usually the bicarbonate level will still be normal because the kidneys haven't had time to react yet.
Ah, but the kidneys do try to step in eventually.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Your kidneys are always working in the background to balance acids and bases. In chronic cases where this has been going on for days or weeks, the kidneys start to compensate.
Ah.
They get rid of bicarbonate. Bicarbonate is a base, a buffer. So by excreting more of it, they try to pull that high pH back down towards the normal range.
Clever. So doctors check that too.
Definitely. They'll also check electrolytes, potassium, calcium, phosphate can sometimes drop, which adds to symptoms like those muscle spasms we talked about. And of course, if they suspect something like a medication or toxin, a toxicology screen is vital.
Okay. So diagnosis involves ABGs, electrolytes. How do you treat it then?
Fundamentally, you have to treat the underlying cause. That's key.
Right.
If it's anxiety or panic causing hyperventilation, then calming the person, coaching slower breathing.
Mhm.
Sometimes even that classic paper bag technique can help short term.
Breathing into a bag, does that really work?
It helps you rebreathe some of the CO2 you just exhaled, which can nudge the CO2 level back up a bit. But for the other causes, infection, medication side effects, low oxygen in cabin, the treatment has to focus squarely on fixing that specific problem.
Makes sense. Treat the root cause. So
Yeah.
let's just quickly recap for everyone listening. Respiratory alkalosis happens when you lose too much CO2, typically from breathing too fast, which makes your blood pH go up.
Becomes too alkaline.
And this can be triggered by a whole bunch of things, from anxiety, like we said, to more serious underlying medical issues.
Right.
And the low CO2 itself causes these kind of surprising symptoms, lightheadedness from less blood flow to the brain, and that tingling or muscle cramping because it messes with calcium.
It's a fantastic example, really, of just how sensitive our internal body chemistry is. How something seemingly simple like your breathing rate can have these significant ripple effects.
It really shows how intricate our bodies are, doesn't it? Always striving for that balance, that equilibrium.
Constantly adjusting.
Which actually brings up a final thought for you to maybe chew on. We talked about how in chronic cases, the kidneys try to fix the high pH by getting rid of bicarbonate. So how might that long-term adjustment by the kidneys, that compensation, how might that potentially create its own set of challenges or subtle symptoms down the road, even while it's trying to correct the initial pH problem?
That's a great point to ponder. The body's solutions can sometimes have their own consequences.